Hello there and welcome to what if Chewbacca was Force-sensitive. The twin suns of Kashyyyk shone faintly through a layer of smoke that coated the Wookiee homeworld. Forests that once firmed with life now lay under siege. The Clone Wars were ending, but in their place, something far worse came. Order 66. Chewbacca's massive frame moved silently through the treetops, the scent of burning trees and Wookiee blood thick in the air. He could hear the war cries of his people below, and the familiar commands of clone troopers now twisted into instruments of death. Tarful, the battle-hardened chieftain, roared his warning as a blaster fire tore through a nearby grove. Chewbacca instinctively raised his bowcaster, firing bolt after bolt at advancing droids. But no matter how many he fired, the numbers seemed endless. Through the chaos, Yoda emerged from the shadows, small but impossibly commanding. His ears twitched as he sensed the disturbance, the raw, violent pulse of the dark side sweeping across the planet. Chewbacca's breath came in ragged bursts. Yoda looked at him, and for the first time, Chewbacca felt something inside of him stir, a quiet hum, a vibration, a light that had always been dormant. Yoda's small voice cut through the roar of battle. Chewbacca, strong you are, not just in battle, but in the Force. Feel it. You must. Chewbacca froze. He had fought countless enemies, mastered every weapon, but this was different. A warmth coursed through his massive body, a connection to everything around him. The forest, the Wookiees, even the clatter of the enemy droids. Great power I sense within you, Yoda continued, not yet awakened, but strong, like your people. To Dagobah I go. When ready you are, find me. The words were more than guidance. They were destiny. Chewbacca's ears twitched, his heart pounding. A Wookiee of his stature had never felt such an internal calling. In the days that followed, Chewbacca fought not just with survival, but with purpose. Every movement, every strike felt guided by an invisible hand. He could sense where blaster fire would come from before it happened, feel the tremor of the ground under the footfalls of clone troopers, even sense when a wounded Wookiee needed help. During a desperate night raid, as the Empire's forces pushed deeper into the forests, Chewbacca found himself surrounded by battle droids. Normally, a Wookiee's rage was enough to tear them apart, but now, instinctively, he lifted a massive root with a roar, hurling it into their ranks, and it split the metal shells of the droids apart with uncanny precision. Tarful, fighting nearby, looked at him wide-eyed. "Chewbacca, what did you do?" he roared. Chewbacca's growl was loud, confused, yet proud. He did not understand the power that had just coursed through him, only that it had saved him, and many more would die if he did not master it. That night, Chewbacca lay atop a massive branch, staring at the starlit sky. The whispers of the Force brushed against his mind, visions of a swampy planet, small and green, a presence calling to him, floated in his thoughts. He did not know what it meant, but the pull was undeniable. The next few weeks were a blur of survival and death. Chewbacca helped lead the remaining Wookiees to safety, avoiding the Imperial fleet that now occupied the planet's orbit. Each encounter tested his new connection to the Force, sensing danger before it came, moving faster than before, lifting debris to shield his allies. Finally, in a desperate gamble, Chewbacca and a small group of Wookiees commandeered an old, abandoned starship hidden deep in the forest. The engines roared to life as blaster fire rained down. He could feel the Force guiding his hands, his instincts keeping them just ahead of death. "Dagobah," he growled to himself, repeating Yoda's name like a prayer. The small green master waited, and Chewbacca knew he had to reach him, not just for his own growth, but for the survival of all those left alive. Through the warp of hyperspace, Chewbacca meditated as best as he could. The Force whispered secrets of balance, of patience, of strength, tempered with mercy. He began to understand that being strong in battle was not enough. He would need to be strong in spirit, a Wookiee Jedi in a galaxy that had forgotten hope. The swamps of Dagobah greeted Chewbacca like a living organism. Mist clung to twisted roots, and strange cries echoed through the fog. But the presence of Yoda was unmistakable, a small, calm beacon amidst the chaotic energy of the Force. Yoda's eyes twinkled as Chewbacca landed his ship, its hull shaking from the uneven terrain. Arrived, you have, Yoda said, his voice both stern and warm. Much to learn, you still have. Fear, anger, impatience, these will tempt you. Control them, you must. Chewbacca lowered his massive head and growled softly. He felt ready, yet fought. The path ahead was unknown, full of challenges beyond any battlefield he had faced. And he knew one thing with absolute certainty. The Force had chosen him, and he would not betray it. For weeks, Chewbacca trained under Yoda. Meditation, exercises in focus, and mastery of the Force filled his days. Yoda tested him constantly, lifting boulders, sensing life across the swamp, even controlling small creatures for the Force. Chewbacca learned not to just react, but to anticipate, to feel the currents of the galaxy, and to temper his rage into clarity. You are strong, Yoda said one morning as Chewbacca lifted a massive log without touching it. But power without wisdom is dangerous. It is. Learn patience, control, and humility. A Jedi, not just a fighter, you must become. Chewbacca's thoughts often drifted to Kashyyyk, his people enslaved, the forests burning. The Force showed him visions of their suffering, but Yoda guided him. Channel your anger, not destroy. Learn to heal, protect, and resist the darkness. Finally, Yoda led Chewbacca to the Dark Side Cave, a place of terrifying visions. Inside, Chewbacca faced the burning of his homeworld, the screams of his kin, the temptation to obliterate every human soldier with raw power. Shadows of the Clone Wars and the Emperor's reach twisted around him, testing his resolve. Chewbacca growled deeply, clawed the earth beneath him, and focused on the light. Memories of Yoda's guidance, and whispers of the Force, and the promise of hope for his people grounded him. He emerged from the cave stronger, not just in power, but in spirit. Yoda nodded. Ready, you are. But wait, you cannot. The galaxy calls. Chewbacca's path was clear. He would return to the galaxy, not as a simple warrior, but as a Force-sensitive guardian, a secret protector, and a beacon of hope. Every step, every roar, every swing of his future lightsaber would carry the weight of his training and the promise of a new Jedi era. The stars ahead were dangerous, filled with Imperial terror, bounty hunters, and uncertainty. But Chewbacca had the Force, and he would no longer hide from it. After leaving Dagobah, Chewbacca plunged into the galaxy once more. He could feel the Force rippling with unrest, the Empire spreading its shadow across countless systems, enslaving Wookiees, stripping planets of life, and enforcing fear with blasters and Star Destroyers. Chewbacca's path led him straight into danger. Imperial scouts, detecting unusual activity in a mining colony on Mimban, captured him during a raid. Chained and shackled, he was forced into the brutal labor of moving heavy minerals and rubble for the Empire. Yet Chewbacca's training had taught him patience, subtlety, and perception. The Force whispered warnings about approaching overseers, the movement of the guards, and weakness in the mechanical restraints. He could not reveal his powers fully. It would have brought Imperial wrath and immediate death. Instead, he bided his time, blending his strength with cunning, waiting for the perfect moment. That moment came when a band of mercenaries, one of them a young pilot named Han Solo, orchestrated a jailbreak. The chaos was perfect. Blaster fire, collapsing structures, and Chewbacca's instincts guiding every step. Together, they tore through the droids and guards, escaping into the muddy plains of Mimban. Han Solo, young, brash, and ambitious, looked at Chewbacca with skepticism. "You're big," Han said, hands on his blaster, "but can you fight smarter than a Wookiee-sized target?" Chewbacca growled, nodding. The Force hummed through him, aligning his body, his mind, his senses. He demonstrated subtle feats, nudging crates with his mind to block incoming fire, sensing traps before they triggered, anticipating Han's movements, and saving them both from collapsing debris. Han blinked. "What did you just do?" Chewbacca's growl was low, almost secretive. He couldn't yet fully explain the Force. The galaxy wasn't ready for a Wookiee Jedi, but he could show its effects. And Han, ever the skeptic, slowly began to realize there was something extraordinary about this Wookiee. From that day forward, they became inseparable, not just pilot and co-pilot, not just partners in crime, but companions bound by trust and the subtle guidance of the Force. Canon events of Solo: A Star Wars Story played out relatively the same, but with layers of Force-sensitive Chewbacca influencing every encounter. During the Kessel Run, Chewbacca could sense gravitational anomalies and Imperial patrols before they appeared, allowing Han to navigate with unprecedented precision in the confrontation with Tobias Beckett's crew. Chewbacca's instincts and enhanced reflexes gave them the upper hand, often in ways Han could not comprehend. Chewbacca kept his power subtle, never striking with a force push in public, never revealing his strength beyond what a Wookiee could naturally achieve. Yet Han began to notice patterns. Chewie's survival in impossible situations, his uncanny aim, and his ability to sense danger movements before they struck. By the end of the events of the Solo movie, a bond of trust and solidified. Han could joke and laugh about Chewbacca's abilities, but deep down he knew this Wookiee was unlike any ally he had ever had. After the events of Solo, as they traveled to Tatooine to find work, Chewbacca finally revealed the truth. The Wookiee's massive paws gestured as he lifted small objects without touching them, sharpened a blaster with the Force, and calmed an aggressive creature with a gentle, glowing hum. Han, for the first time, did not laugh. "Okay, that's not just Wookiee luck," he said, scratching his head. "You're something else." Chewbacca nodded. The Force had chosen him, and now his companion understood. Not completely, but enough to trust him in a galaxy dominated by fear and the Empire. A few years passed, and the galaxy descended further into Imperial tyranny. Chewbacca felt the call again, this time Yoda beckoning him back to Dagobah. But Chewbacca would not go alone. Han insisted on accompanying him. Dagobah was as foreboding as ever. Mist curling over swamp pools, strange noises echoing across the twisted routes, and an energy thick with the Force. Han, skeptical but loyal, followed Chewbacca through the murky paths, amazed at the Wookiee's ease and confidence. Yoda greeted them both. Strong in the Force, Chewbacca is, but alone, complete he is not. Weapon he must forge, kyber crystal to find. Path dangerous, yes, but necessary. Han snorted. A lightsaber? You want to build a lightsaber? Yoda's gaze pierced him. Not just for show. Balance in the galaxy he will bring. Tool of a Jedi he must wield. The Empire had stripped Ilum bare, mining its sacred crystals for the Death Star. Yoda, sensing this, guided Chewbacca and Han to an obscure outer rim planet, once home to a Jedi enclave where an untouched kyber crystal was rumored to remain. The journey was fraught with peril. Imperial patrols roamed the space lanes. Bounty hunters attempted to ambush them. Ancient traps and forgotten guardians of the Jedi Temple tested their wit and courage. Chewbacca's Force sensitivity proved invaluable. He could sense hidden dangers, guide Han through treacherous terrain, and subtly manipulate objects to overcome obstacles. After a harrowing trek, they found it, a green kyber crystal, glowing softly, a reflection of Chewbacca's own strength and calm heart. Obi-Wan Kenobi, long in exile, had reconnected with Yoda through the Force. He joined Chewbacca and Han, guiding the Wookiee through the intricate, meditative process of constructing a lightsaber. Every cut, every assembly, every alignment with the crystal's resonance was a ritual. Han watched silently, awed. When the final step was completed, Chewbacca ignited his green blade. The light shimmered in the swamp, reflecting in his amber eyes, filled with purpose and determination. Obi-Wan's voice, steady and calm, resonated through the Force. The galaxy has long forgotten what Jedi can be. But you are proof that they are not gone. Chewbacca held the saber high, Han beside him, ready for whatever the galaxy demanded next. With training complete, Chewbacca was no longer merely a Wookiee warrior. He was a Jedi in spirit, a hidden guardian, and a subtle master of the Force. He and Han left Dagobah, returning to the galaxy not as ordinary smugglers, but as key figures in the struggles against the Empire. Han now understood more, believed more, and trusted in Chewbacca's power and wisdom. Together, they were ready to challenge Imperial tyranny in ways the galaxy had never imagined. Chewbacca and Han returned to Tatooine. Now seasoned, armed, and subtly attuned to the Force, they rejoined the Rebel Alliance under the radar, carrying critical intelligence and Imperial movements and key systems under occupation. When Obi-Wan Kenobi approached them at the Mos Eisley Cantina, their reunion was electric. Chewbacca's Force sense recognized Obi-Wan immediately, remembering his help with constructing his lightsaber and the days they fought in the Clone Wars alongside each other, and Han could feel the gravity of the moment even without fully understanding it. Obi-Wan, in turn, sensed the latent Jedi power in Chewbacca. "Your time has come," Obi-Wan said softly to Chewbacca. "The galaxy needs more than heroes with blasters. You are a spark of hope." Chewbacca growled, nodding. Han looked skeptical, but he trusted Chewie completely. Together, the trio prepared to aid Luke Skywalker in the desperate mission to rescue Princess Leia from the Death Star. In the corridors of the Death Star, Chewbacca's Force sensitivity became a subtle but crucial asset. While Leia, Han, and Luke focused on sabotage and rescue, Chewbacca's instincts guided their movements with uncanny precision. When Obi-Wan faced Darth Vader, ready to sacrifice himself, Chewbacca intervened. His green lightsaber roared to life, deflecting Vader's strikes, absorbing force pushes, and giving Obi-Wan the precious seconds he needed to retreat safely. Through Han's translation, Chewbacca communicated to Obi-Wan, "Your fight isn't finished. The galaxy needs you." For the first time since Order 66, Obi-Wan felt the Force stir within him. Rekindled for Chewbacca's unwavering presence, the mission succeeded. Leia escaped, and the Death Star plans moved into Rebel hands. Chewbacca's intervention changed the galaxy's trajectory. Obi-Wan survived, the Rebellion gained a secret guardian, and the Sith's immediate advantage weakened. The events on Hoth and Cloud City shifted significantly with Chewbacca's presence and Jedi training. During the Battle of Hoth, Chewbacca anticipated probe droid paths and Imperial attack vectors, subtly using the Force to protect retreating rebels. Casualties decreased, and the evacuation proceeded more smoothly. Luke's training on Dagobah accelerated under the dual guidance of Yoda and Obi-Wan, with Chewbacca demonstrating practical applications of the Force in lightsaber combat, allowing Luke to learn faster than he would ever alone. In Cloud City, the trap set by Vader still captured Han and Carbonite, but Chewbacca's instincts allowed him to anticipate the ambush, engage stormtroopers with precision, and protect Leia, giving Luke the chance to duel Vader. Even with Vader revealing his parentage, Chewbacca's guidance ensured that the group survived with fewer losses, keeping the rebellion's leadership more intact. Han's faith in Chewbacca's abilities, and by extension the Force, solidified during these trials. Chewbacca's Force sensitivity became pivotal during the Return of the Jedi. In Jabba's palace, he held the charge, igniting his green lightsaber and cutting through guards and Boba Fett's henchmen with surgical precision. The palace raid turned from a desperate gamble into swift and devastating success. On Endor, Chewbacca's connection to the Force allowed him to communicate instinctively with the Ewoks. They saw him as a guardian spirit, and under his guidance, they coordinated their attacks with remarkable efficiency. Chewbacca used both his bowcaster and lightsaber to destroy AT-STs, leading the Ewoks in an organized assault that amplified rebel forces. When the final confrontation with the Emperor and Vader came aboard the Death Star 2, Chewbacca entered the throne room first, neutralizing the Emperor's guards and giving Luke the space to face his father. Obi-Wan, alive thanks to Chewbacca's early intervention, joined the fray, dueling the Emperor with focus and precision. Palpatine unleashed lightning, but Obi-Wan absorbed and reflected it, holding his own long enough for Luke to appeal to the good in Anakin. Outside the Emperor's throne room, Chewbacca fought with unwavering determination, protecting the rebels and ensuring their escape routes remained clear. In a climactic moment, Anakin succumbed to the light, destroying the Emperor once and for all. Chewbacca's subtle interventions had been decisive throughout, ensuring that the events unfolded in favor of the galaxy while preserving key heroes. With the Empire defeated, Chewbacca became a symbol of hope and resilience. His survival and heroics proved that the Force could manifest in beings beyond the usual human lineage. Obi-Wan returned to Jedi teachings inspired by Chewbacca's unique approach, blending instincts, loyalty, and raw strength. Han Solo, now a believer in the Force's influence, dedicated himself fully to aiding Chewbacca in the rebellion. Luke Skywalker began rebuilding the Jedi Order, guided by both Obi-Wan and Chewbacca, embracing a philosophy that valued diversity, vigilance, and the power of unconventional heroes. Years later, Chewbacca returned to Dagobah with Luke, Han, and Leia. Yoda's teachings had taken root, and the Force flowed stronger than ever. Together, they trained a new generation of Jedi, preparing the galaxy to defend itself from any future darkness. Chewbacca's journey from Kashyyyk slave to Force-sensitive guardian, from secret warrior to Jedi mentor, proved that destiny is shaped by courage, loyalty, and the heart's strength, not just bloodlines or prophecy. The stars themselves seemed to shine brighter in his presence, and for the first time since the Clone Wars, the galaxy felt truly alive, balanced, and free. And that is it for what if Chewbacca was Force sensitive. Honestly, one of my favorite what ifs I've written so far. maybe even in my top 3. I think it is in my top 3, definitely. Let me know what you guys thought about this what if. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to subscribe, as we're trying to reach 1,000 subscribers. And once we do, we're going to do a face reveal on the channel. Like the video, turn notifications on to be notified about the next time I post a Star Wars what if. We do post a Star Wars what if on this channel every single Thursday and Sunday, every single week. I also hope that you guys will comment your opinions, as I do love getting comments on these what ifs. So comment down below any suggestions, anything, you know, any really thoughts you have about this what if, or generally just anything to do with Star Wars what ifs. I appreciate every single comment. Make sure to join our Discord server as well. The link is in the description, where we talk everything from Star Wars, gaming, movies, and more. And if you want to support the channel and get exclusive perks, consider joining our Patreon. The link is also in the description. So I truly hope that you guys enjoyed this what if. As I said, one of my favorites I've made, probably my top 3, maybe my top 2, maybe my top 1. I love the music in this what if especially, and this is the music we're going to be using coming forward. So remember to comment, share this video with anybody that you think would love this video, and of course, subscribe. My name is Mr. Voz, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. Between the pulse of light and shadowed breath, there lies a place where time forgets itself, not bound by what has been, nor what must come, but the faintest whisper of choice. A single thread pulled and the galaxy bends. Here, destinies twist like sparks in the void. Heroes falter, villains rise, and every path you thought was certain shivers, then fractures, revealing the infinite could have beens. Step closer and listen to the silent echoes. Every star you see could burn another way. Every shadow could hide a truth unseen. And in this space, your imagination is the only limit. Welcome to the place where what if reigns.
Hey, you didn't watch it? Well, check out the video on the left side of the screen, which is specifically recommended for you, or check out the playlist on the right of the screen, which contains similar videos to this one, made by me, of course. Hey, remember to subscribe.